Welcome to the South African Rotax Max Challenge, the final round at Zwartkops International Raceway, west of Pretoria. In the DD2 Masters, it's a two-horse race between Michael Steven and Jonathan Pieterse, with the rest of the guys fighting out for the minor places. Eugene Brits put it on pole ahead of Michael Steven, Marwan Salmi and Jonathan Pieterse, with Connor Hughes in 5th place ahead of Alistair Mingay.
Yeah, I think same plan as the rest of the year, go out and try and win. I think it's quite easy. Obviously, the risk becomes less as the championship carries on. So if there's a 50-50 move, we're not going to go for it. But yeah, we're going to go out, race hard, and we're going to race for the win.
Obviously, the main thing is getting the ticket, go to Italy. You have that one little Finnish business to do, this grand finals. Was this an objective this year?
Yeah, at the beginning of the year, obviously it's always been an objective to do the national championship and then qualify to go to the world finals. So it's still something that's unticked on my racing CV, and hopefully we can get to go this year and try and pull back another, bring a world championship back to South Africa.
What is it about those world finals? What is it? What makes them as good as they are?
I think the Rotax World Final is really special and unique in that, you arrive there and there's 72 karts on the grid that you draw your kart. They're all the same make, same engine. Everyone has the same number of tires. So it really comes down to driver, obviously a little bit of luck on the day as well. But it's just a fantastically organised event, and you go there every year with a chance, and I think that's what's important.
And of course, you still have it unfinished business from when you were taken out with a lap and a half to go, leading every race, winning everything. That is still that one thing. Last year we went to Brazil, you were right up there. Morgado did his 5th Masters Championship on a circuit which probably was better suited for Morgado.
Yeah, it also, he had the opportunity to go and test there, which also has a little bit of an advantage. But I think you just got to have that element of luck with you on the weekend. As you mentioned a couple of years ago, led 55 laps in the heats and the finals and that, and got taken out with a lap to go. So sometimes it goes your way, sometimes it doesn't. And last year we had a good opportunity, we were fast, we won a heat, but I just destroyed the tyres in the heat races and had nothing left for the final. So we'll go there with a slightly different approach this year, but same goal in mind, to try and win the championship.
Are you going to keep the old buddies honest this weekend?
Yeah, I kind of have to at the home track. But we'll see. It's been very tight. I think me and Michael almost at the same time now in qualifying. So hopefully for some tight racing, and that's why we're here, just to come play and have some fun.
Michael is not going to risk anything. He's got a huge advantage in the championship. You're not really in the championship. Is that something that plays in your mind while racing?
Obviously, I think if there was 2 or 3 guys going for the championship flat out and it's been close, I think I'll back out of it a bit. But I think Michael's basically wrapped it up, so we'll just go hard racing from later on this afternoon.
In race 1, Eugene Brits got the victory, although he's not eligible for the championship, with Jonathan Pieterse in 2nd ahead of Michael Steven, who played it safe in 3rd place to secure the championship ahead of Marwan Salmi.
Michael Steven has got such a big margin that he literally just has to finish this heat, and I think after this one, heat number 2 of 4 today, he has possibly wrapped up the South African Championship there. Pieterse and Eugene Brits are the 2nd row, so 199 is Brits. On the outside will be 169, Jonathan Pieterse.
No tramline drama, I hope.
Not with these guys. These guys usually get it all sorted out. They've got a lot of experience.
Exactly.
They've been driving karts for a long time, and now that's why they're known as masters. Perfect start down into turn 1. And a perfect start coming out of Marwan Salmi, who hangs on with Michael Steven tucking in behind him. One concern I've got, though, is exactly that. Michael Steven takes the lead. Is he going to go and try and win the championship by taking a victory? Or is he going to try and sit back? The way I've seen Michael Steven in the past, winning multiple saloon kart championships, winning multiple production kart championships, winning multiple karting championships, he's not a man to really have to worry about taking victories. We mentioned it earlier in the commentary. His most consistent season was his 2nd year in GDC, where he actually didn't take one victory, but he won the championship. So do we need to take a win? Yes, I think Michael Steven might be looking for this win here just to secure the championship and then take the rest of the day at his stride.
Yeah, and you can tell by the aggression, I mean, him taking his position back so quickly from Marwan Salmi there and not giving him a chance at turn 2. So I think that sort of says a lot about his temperament going into this race, Greg.
Problem on the outside there of one of the carts. You can see him just parked on the left-hand side of our shot there. And I'm going to look and see it. Probably going to be Calvin Ferreira, I think, who's just gone missing there. He's parked on the left-hand side on the entrance there. Is it 116? Yes, Calvin Ferreira.
Yeah, it is.
So he's got a bit of a problem there on his burl. But need to say out of this one. But Michael Stephen winning 7 out of 10 races so far in this championship. Going for the 8th victory. 8 out of 11 will be enough to secure the championship, that's for sure. On his tail, though, is the 199 Eugene Brits, yesterday's heat winner. Marin Salmi still in with a chance. And you can see Salmi not giving up yet. Looking for a possibility of anywhere he can to find a way past and squeeze through. And then Jonathan Peterson, who of course has already secured himself a seat, sitting there in 4th place, just trying to probably finish up. He is looking at 2nd place in the championship overall, so he's got to still have a bit of work to do today.
Yeah, maybe perhaps optimizing off any drama in argy-bargy between Marwan Salmi and Eugene Brits. He's sort of hanging back there, a bit, sort of like he's waiting. It looks like he's waiting for something to happen, which is very likely given Marwan Salmi's aggression and how quickly he closed the gap on Eugene Brits.
Brits closing the gap now on Michael Stephen. Jonathan Peterson in 4th place, remember, has been to Sarno in Italy. He's raced there. It was in 2016 that he raced there. So he, of course, has got some experience there. He'll be probably looking to share that experience and share that track knowledge with his teammate, Michael Stephen, if he secures the seat in the championship. It'll be a strong team to go there. A man who's already had experience and raced at the circuit. And, of course, one of SA's finest, if not SA's finest driver in terms of national championship victories, because you've got the likes of Charles van der Merwe and Serge Damsos of the world, the Johan Fries of the world, etc., that have all taken multiple championships in their own right, but there's hardly anybody who's taken it over such a wide spread of categories.
We're looking at a very strong team, at least team championship contention going into the world finals. We definitely might be able to secure that award before we're looking at any individual accolades.
Well, if you look at the potential of his 8th championship in karting today, and 11 circuit racing championships, it's arguably...
Wow.
Oh, sorry, other way around there. It's actually 11 karting. So it'll be his 12th karting championship if he wins it today, and 7 national saloon car and production car championships as well. Arguably one of SA's winningest drivers.
No wonder he's always smiling. With that kind of record, I'd be smiling all the time too.
I think I know he stepped out of saloon car driving, but with this championship, and the one thing that has eluded him, which is why he's pushing so hard for this championship and why he's pushed so hard in karting this year, is to try and take a world championship.
Exactly.
Can you imagine having that?
Jeez.
Yeah, that's what's that? 12 and 7, 19. Your 20 championships are made up of 19 national championships. And I'm not even talking about the regional and club stuff that he's done in the past, and 1 world championship as your accolade to go into whatever you're going to be doing for the rest of your career. And he's still in racing in a big way with the Volkswagen development program.
And that's the exact point I was heading to, Greg. He still has so many years ahead of him in racing. It's not like he's anywhere near done. It's quite impressive. And
I mean, the amount of information. The amount of information and experience that he's passing on to younger drivers via that Volkswagen development program is, it's invaluable. And also, take into account with the return of the 9-hour at Kyalami at the end of the year, he's also got a seat in one of the cars there. So I think he's piloting alongside Lee Thompson and Kish Patamba in the Ferrari. So that's a very strong team.
Ooh, I can't wait for that one. We're going to have so many South African competitors going into the 9-hour. It's just been a great year for GT racing.
Listen, it's phenomenal. And we're not really talking about the 9-hour, but if you take into account that you've got the likes of the Van der Linders, who also started their racing careers in karting, Pepper, who started his racing in karting, and the Minimax champion, of course, coming out of the Van der Linde stable, and he's just won the GT Series as well. So we've got the feeding ground here in South Africa is so good. They work through from Bambino up into DD2 Masters. They go on to bigger and better things, and they just fly the flag high in motorsport for South Africa worldwide.
And that's how we're able to produce so many championships on world level in karting. It's just so competitive from the ground up, and anyone going into karting knows that you're in a place where you're able to actually bring out the most of whatever talent and ability you have just by rubbing shoulders with the likes of your Michael Stevens.
Watch the first part of the racing. The talent is already there. The pool is already there. You can pull anybody out of that pool of drivers, and they've all got potential of being SA's champs first of all, and then from SA's champs, world championships or European champions, or the world is your oyster once you've stepped up to the top game. And that's why I'm saying, like, with the amount of money and the amount of effort that's being put in by teams, by moms and dads, by sponsors and partners, you got to take your hats off to them, because it's no longer a situation where we'd only send our guys right at the end of the year and hope for the best.
Yeah.
That's no longer happening. There is so much development happening throughout the year in karting, throughout the world, for our guys to have experience in and get a chance to just get better and better at the sport that they love.
Yeah, Europe definitely knows when a South African karting team is around, that's for sure.
Well, we were chatting about it, but there wasn't really anything happening, and that's the reason why we continue to chat about how the development in the sport is happening to get them to this level. Michael Stephen is part of that development process, and he's taken his victory. Confirmation of the results, Michael Stephen taking the DD2 Masters ahead of Eugene Brits, Myron Salmi and Jonathan Peterson. They were the class of the field in the top 4. Then it was Connor Hughes, Brett Brito, Alistair Mingay, Roy Kruger, James Moore, and the top 10 made up of Andre Steenkamp. We'll be back soon for heat number 3 now, starting things out with Minimax.
Yeah, obviously the second race started second on the grid. Yesterday in the first heat we just took a little bit conservative to wrap up the championship, and it allowed us to go and challenge today. And I mean, Eugene's been fast, drove a great race yesterday, but I had to have a go, in the second heat, got to the front and made a small change from yesterday. We were a little bit lean yesterday and managed to pull a little bit of a gap and control it to the end. Yeah, there are 2 races left for the day. Racing as normal, we're going to go out and try to win them all and end the season on a high.
Consistency is very much a big game when it comes to Michael Stephen. Yes, he's very good at winning races, but he doesn't necessarily have to win races to win the 19 championships he's got under his belt. Heading towards turn 1, he is the man to outgun everybody else, but around his outside comes Eugene Brits, who of course is going to be joining Masters next year. He's not old enough for the Masters Championship this year. He's just using it as a bit of a test season, and of course he's also just a little bit too big for the DD2s in terms of the overall weight allocation for the kart and driver for DD2. That's why he's joined the Masters.
Now, something seems to be wrong with Eugene Britt's kart, because he slowed down just before they went in down under the tunnel. I think we got a shot of him kind of hobbling. I don't know what the issue was there, but didn't seem to have any contact with anyone. Just as Brito came into shot, that's when I saw Eugene Britt. Okay, there was someone else who looks exactly like Eugene Britt. My mistake. He's still in the running.
Okay, it may have been Owen Stern, possibly.
Possibly, yeah.
As they come down there. Remember, he's already had a problem on that kart. We'll try and pick it up as they go down towards that section now. He might just be ailing and heading back to the pit lane. There he is right at the back. He's got the orange helmet on, so I'm not quite sure if that is Stern.
It's Myron Salmi.
Or Myron Salmi, yeah.
It's
Myron Salmi, who's at the back there with that orange helmet. So Salmi with an issue. He's coming across the start-finish line quickly as we head down to the bottom end of the circuit. Michael Stephen ahead of Eugene Brits. And it looks like Jonathan Peterson tucked in behind that. So a little bit of fun and games to be starting at the front end. But I think Eugene Brits is reveling in the conditions here to have a go with a multiple champion like Michael Stephen. And Michael Stephen is probably enjoying a bit of a fight that he's in here, as opposed to having it all his own way.
Yeah, ever smiling Michael Stephen looks very calm. The body language is very relaxed between both riders, actually. Kind of reflects the temperament of the championship, at least where this part of the grid order is concerned. Just as we see some aggressive moves there with Connor Hughes coming in on the inside of someone there on turn 1. Very nice. I think that was on Brito. Yes, that was Connor Hughes on Brito.
Well, that's the fight we're looking for third place. You've got Brito, Hughes, and who did I mention? Alistair Mingay. Mingay, unfortunately, down in 7th place, not doing himself any good there. But Brett Brito certainly is doing a great job of potentially hanging on to 3rd place in this championship, depending on what happens with Connor Hughes. So we've got a couple of calculations we'll be doing around that, but not really affecting the front 2. But a nice little fight here, no doubt about it.
Yeah, great. Gruer there has a nice TV show ahead of them with Connor Hughes and Brett Brito. It's going to be quite a battle between the two of them. There's still a long way to go. How many laps are we looking at, Greg?
This is an 18-lapper. We've completed 3, so we've got 15 still to go. And now heading down into turn 2, we're going to concentrate on this little battle just behind. So 188 is Connor Hughes, and Brito having a big look on the inside there and making it stick as well. Good job there from Brett Brito as he dives through to make a move onto Connor Hughes. If he stays where he is, that's where he can literally secure 3rd place in this championship, because with Mingay being a little bit further back there was only 1 point in it between, in fact there's 1 point in it between Hughes and Mingay, and there's 4 points in it between Brito and Hughes. So tight stuff there for the 3rd place battle.
Yeah, hardly anything in it. a lot of dicing we can look forward to there. But I was just trying to see and figure out if it was James Moore who's right behind him, but he seems to have fallen away. I thought he may be in line for gains in terms of position, because there's a lot of dicing between Brito as well as Hughes. Correction, it is not James Moore, it's actually Alistair Mingay. That is him coming into the shot over there, yes, in the 177. I thought it was the 111 of James Moore. But he also may have some gains there. He's a bit of untidy racing at least. But he's a very experienced driver. I don't expect many mistakes on their part.
Exactly that, and of course using the experience that they need to get to the front end of these battles is crucial right now, because of course championship points are up for grabs. It's the final bit of championship points that are available to these drivers. That makes it very difficult to be sitting in a battle for 6, 7 and 8 place when you should be trying to score maximum points for your ability to ensure you've still got a chance at this championship. We're going to play around with a couple of figures throughout these 18 laps, and as we get into the 18 laps, you can see Brito at this stage sits comfortably in 4th, which would give him 29 points to play with. If you look at where his closest rival is, Alistair Mingay, he's down in 7th. He's in 26 points. And then, of course, Connor Hughes is right on his tail, so they'll be giving 28 points there for Hughes. So if we quickly work those ones out, we're looking at 343 for Mingay, we're looking at 344 for Connor Hughes. It's tight, it's very good, and 351 for Brett Brito. So there's still only going to be, 8 points in it between these three drivers for the final heat.
Yeah, exactly.
We are going to go into the final lap right now for Michael Stephen. And Michael Stephen is going to try and hang on to this. And I think he is going to try and go for a bit of a swan song here. 3 out of 3 on the day. And it'll be 3 out of 4 if he's able to get the third and final victory. Because the first victory went to Eugene Brits ahead of Jonathan Peterson in race 1 yesterday.
And there's Michael Stephen proving his experience there. Was it 19 times?
19 20, yeah.
Jeez, that needs to register. I'm still a bit stunned by that. The tier 19 title was also in combination with his karting accolades as well as main circuit accolades. But definitely proves that karting is the hunting ground for talent, especially with South Africa's concerned. Some of the best talent in the world are our tracks and our circuits. We've seen it the entire year round on the GT circuit in particular.
Well, flag is out. Michael Stephen's taking the victory. Confirmation quickly. Michael Stephen ahead of Eugene Brits, Jonathan Peterson, Brett Brito, Connor Hughes, Roy Gruer and Alistair Mingay in 7th, and it's Calvin Ferreira, Andre Steenkamp and Kevin Fossley who make up the top 10 in the DD2 Masters. We'll be back soon with the final heat of Minimax.
Yesterday started well with the win in the first heat, but Michael's upped his pace today. Very difficult to stay with him. He's so consistent throughout the whole race, and these 18 laps are killers. So hopefully I can get in front early in the next race and then sort of create a little bit of havoc with Marwan and Jono following.
And they come into the tram lines. It is Jonathan Peterson and Michael Stephen on the front row. Eugene Brits just behind that, and looks like there's going to be a big fight between those three. Whew, what a maneuver. Right in the word go there from the... I think that might have been the DD2 Masters 35, if I'm not mistaken, that chucked out there. And looking at it, it could possibly have been Roy Gruer, not the 35, 66 actually, of Roy Gruer, who dived inside there. I was just looking at the wrong set of notes there. But down into turn number 1 they go, and it is a usual start for the DD2 Masters, with Michael Stephen getting the drop. And it looks like it's Peterson who's following him through. Where is Brits? Eugene Brits not quite there just yet, but definitely a chance.
Yeah, he must have fallen away and not gotten the greatest of exits out of turn 2. That will obviously affect some amount of speed you're coming into with the other sectors of the track. He's fallen away a good amount. Might have been more than just not starting well. But there he is. I think I just saw him there in 3rd.
I'm looking to see where Brett Brito is. Look where Brito is. Brito is way down.
Yeah, he's a long
I think
way
he might
down.
have been caught up by that as well. So at this stage, Connor Hughes is up in the 4th place. Roy Gruer, Calvin Ferreira, and then Andre Steenkamp. Mingay is ahead of Brett Brito. So that could be a big change up in terms of how this championship finishes up. I'm going to just keep those points ahead so we can play around with them as we get into the thick of these last 18 laps of action.
Brito just getting ahead of James Moore there, getting his own back, trying to work up some of the lost places that he's gotten. He knows he's in a very hard position at the moment. Mingay is looking good.
Hughes in 4th place, so that's not a bad start from him. And he'll be looking to try and stay up there in 4th place. If he stays in 4th place, he might be able to bridge the gap and get past Brito for 3rd overall in the championship. But of course, it'll depend on where Brito finishes up a bit further down. Brito at this stage sits in 9th place, according to the timing monitor, but it might change up here as he comes across and make it 8th place. Yeah, so 8th place there.
And that's him past Alistair Minge, making almost light work of it, actually. Very quickly getting back and recovering some of the pace he lost there early on.
That's what it's all about. It's National Round Championship Finals. You've got to make sure that you've done it all right by now. If you haven't done it all right by now, this is when it could be costly. And coming into the round with a relatively, what I'd call a comfortable margin is not always the comfortable margin that you think it is when things go wrong in karting, and they often do when it comes to this format of racing, particularly when it's so close. And the championship is up for grabs. Hughes under attack there from Grua. So a nice fight there for his fourth place on track. 1, 2, and 3 have literally split apart. Actually, if we go a bit further back and chatting to the director, hopefully you can get, you watch out for that battle for 7, 8, 9, and 10th place. It's actually raging a lot more. Literally going flat out. So coming down here, watch for this. There goes Hughes and Grua, but watch for this next battle. Here they come. Brito closing in onto the back end of Andre Steenkamp. So Brito on the charge, trying to make up some ground now, leaving Alistair Minge in his wake. Minge not able to run with the same kind of pace as what Brito's got right now.
Yeah, not at all. He's not going to be putting his name down there. Plus, he's got a bit of a buffer ahead of him there. But it'll be interesting to see how is that Calvin Pereira in the 116, how he stands as an obstacle to Andre Steenkamp, who's very much approaching him. Yep.
That's exactly what we need to take into account. Now, Minge sitting down at this stage in 9th place is not where he wants to be, that is for sure. Because 9th place will mean he'll be getting 24 points. So Minge is going to be losing ground to Connor Hughes. Connor Hughes is basically fighting with Brito here. That's what we've got to watch out for. Brito's attacking again, gets through on Steenkamp.
Nicely
and
done.
makes up. In fact, that was on Calvin Ferreira.
Yeah, that was on Ferreira, yes.
On Ferreira.
Because now he's sitting in 5th, I believe. But that is it's Grua in 5th, Ferreira in 6th, and Brito in 7th.
So it was Steenkamp
he
got through.
It was Steenkamp, yeah.
Steenkamp now demoted down 1 position into 8th place, and Brett Brito's got his sights firmly set. It's a long way up the road, though, to Roy Grua and to Connor Hughes. There goes Connor Hughes and Grua into turn 2. Brito's only just come out of turn 1, so he's got the short straight between 1 and 2 to make up now. And it's about, what are we looking at there? 6 seconds he's got to make up. 6 seconds he has to make up.
6 seconds.
Brito in 6 at this point.
If he's doing it at half a second per lap, he's got enough time, but it's going to come down to literally the last lap.
But he has to beat him.
Yeah.
Because if you look at the way things stand right now, if Brito finishes in 6th place, he'll be on 370, and he will have to make up at least 3 positions. So he has to finish 4th or better to beat Connor Hughes into 3rd place in the championship.
Oh, jeez. And it's not going to be easy for him. Definitely not going to be easy.
Not with Connor Hughes' pace
No.
right now ahead of Roy Grua. So let's wait and see. 1-1-6 is having a bit of a fight there. Calvin Ferreira and Alistair Minge trying to find a way past on him. Minge realizes that Ferreira is going to be in his way here, potentially finishing up 4th overall. Ernst Verloon is not here, so he doesn't have to worry too much about Ernst Verloon, but Andre Steenkamp is ahead of him, and he's behind him in the championship, so that's probably why he wants to just make sure of the championship in terms of 4 and 5 here for the final heat and final race of the season for 2019's South African Rotax Max National Karting Championship.
Yeah, you never know what's going to happen. I mean, we were just talking earlier about how Dino Sturman went into Benjamin Haber in such an unexpected way. And it's exactly what you were saying and describing, how mentality might just switch up at the last moment. And I think that's exactly what that was. I mean, the decision really didn't make sense.
And the thought pattern also, of course, is not making sense, because you're thinking, hang on a second, how can you make that maneuver at this point? Surely you're thinking about just finishing the race, finishing the championship.
Exactly.
The concentration levels are at their utmost, and they've pushed themselves to the limits for the last 2 days of racing. So it's a lot of ask and a lot of concentration that has to happen at this level of racing. So if you do make any mistake, the one that could be the most crucial one happens usually in that final heat. We're not sure if Michael Steven is going to be coming back for another round of DD2 Masters next year. He might take a bit of a sabbatical and come back if he needs to try and win maybe an African Open seat if he wants to. I don't think he's going to be a full-time karter next year. This is, as I've spoken to him in the past, he's kind of said this is his last attempt at trying to get that world title that has eluded him for a while. And he might just step out for a while and give himself a bit of a breather and enjoy his beautiful family that he started, of course. So whether or not that's the case, we'll wait and see. If it is the case, then of course this is going to be the front-end battle in 2020. And Britt's diving on the inside makes it stick into turn 1.
Nicely done, very clean, very smooth, respectful overtaking. Not too much elbows out. We'll see if Peterson has an answer to that though, because they seem very similar on pace. Not hardly anything between them really. It's just bumper to bumper. So one mistake, one tiny mistake could really cost Eugene Brits, that is.
And Brits right now has taken the lead in terms of the battle for second and leads out ahead of Peterson. Peterson sitting comfortably there on his tail and hasn't been able to get away, or Brits hasn't been able to get away just yet on Peterson. Peterson keeping him very honest. In fact, late braking there from Peterson closes in yet again as they go into 7 to go.
And a man who's been a big factor for so many years is in this 101 cards we haven't shot now, Michael Stephen. I mean, he's making a clean sweep, really puts it lightly, because you can't ignore the past 15 to 20 years.
Exactly.
Jeez, it's really...
So he went, the first time he went to World Finals, he won the African Open. Of course, he's secured the seat by winning this championship now. And you mentioning 101, it's been like a karting 101, you know. He's taught them a lesson properly. And it's another championship in the bag. So that's 19 championships that he has now won. 12 on the karting track, 7 on the main circuit, and potentially a world championship by the end of 2019. And we wish Michael Stephen all the very best from our side, because I think that's definitely going to be one of our biggest hopes for a #1 plate at the World Finals in Sano. Checkered flag is about to come out, and Michael Stephen has done it all right today and secured 2019's DD2 Masters Championship. It's his third DD2 championship as well. Congratulations goes to Michael Stephen. Confirmation of the results: Michael Stephen, Eugene Brits, and Jonathan Peterson, your top 3. Then Roy Gruer, beating out Connor Hughes and Brett Brito, with Alistair Mingay into 7th. Calvin Ferreira, Andre Steenkamp, Kevin Foster, James Moore, and Mauro Salmi, unfortunately with the DNF there early on in race number 2.
Yeah, fantastic weekend. Great way to end the championship. 3 wins today, so really happy with that. From our side, a big thanks to VW Motorsport Academy, Scribanti Construction, CRG. You know, without their support, none of this would have been possible. And also to all the PE fellows who come with and support each other on the weekend. To the family at home, my wife, my daughter, you know, for all their support. And yeah, now hopefully we can go overseas and bring back a world championship.